Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Today is Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. It is my 193rd Flosstube. If you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by. I hope you get inspired to try something different that maybe you haven't stitched before. And make a comment. If you enjoy the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And to all my returning Flosstubers, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So what has been happening since the last time we were together? ABCingo is done. We had a few extra days at the end of the month, and I got some stitching in that I just wanted to stitch on. This was my ABCingo board. I only had one bingo. I had a few places where I had needed one letter or number to complete it, but just one bingo, which is fine. I was glad I participated. It was lots of fun. The magazine monthly had an acrostic. I did do it, but I didn't post any pictures since I was posting for ABCingo. I do participate in WIPGO, which is the brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on Flosstube. And so I finished my September pieces, and for October, it is number 6, which I have Santa's Workshop. That's the one by Jim Shore, and Mill Hill sponsors it. And the other one is Live on Little by Plum Street. That's a big piece. I don't know how many years I have left on that one. But yeah, those are my WIPGO calls. So what has been happening since we were last together? Let's see, tomorrow is, I believe it's Yom Kippur. Yes, so last week was Rosh Hashanah, and schools were closed here in New Jersey. I guess some districts, if not all. And Caleb was off from school on a day that I had Layla, so I also had Caleb. And we went to a new playground for Sal and I. Rebecca had taken the kids there on a Saturday, and they really enjoyed it, so we thought we'd bring them back there. And they have like a little pond where people fish, so we walked around the pond for a while, then we went over to the playground, but it was really crowded. I guess a lot of families that were off from school brought their children to the playground. So unfortunately, Layla had a little mishap. We bumped with another child, and she banged her nose. But she's the trooper she is. She still climbed up those high apparatuses and slid down enclosed tubes. But the older children were going in those tubes and just trying to scare the other children. So we decided to go into the other side of the playground, which was, I guess, smaller and for the younger children. But because she sees Caleb going up there, she just follows him. So naturally, I have to go up there too. I don't slide down the tubes anymore if I can avoid it. But I climb up and climb back down to meet her at the bottom, but Sal's at the bottom usually anyway. So it was a busy day that day. And then, let's see. Oh, so Thursday, then we had, that was Tuesday. Then Thursday, we just had Layla, which was a normal day for us for babysitting. And then Friday, James asked me to pick up Talia from the JCC because Amy, it was a little over a half a day, but Amy had to stay. She's teaching there this year, music. And so to help him out, I picked up Talia, and I said, look, since I'm picking her up, we'll go over to where Gianna is. I'll stay outside on the playground with Talia until Gianna comes out, pick them up. I'll bring them both home. So he says, okay, thanks so much. So we did that, and we get to James's house. He was working from home that day. So I gave him more time to work. And we get there, and he went out in the back. I think he was going to put up the bouncy house for the girls. But what happened was he's walking in on the phone, and he's giving his address and his name. And then he finally hangs up, and I says, what's going on? He says, I just called the police. And I was like, okay. And he says, there's a deer caught between our two fences. James has, I I don't know what they're called, a stockade, I guess, where you don't see through, a white stockade. And his neighbor next door has a chain link. And there's about, I would say about this much space between the fences. And somehow a deer fell in there upside down, like laying down this way with its legs up in the air. He has no idea how long it's been there. So he called the police. Shortly after the police showed up, they saw what happened. One of the police officers' father works in fencing, luckily, and he had a tool that, if James agreed, that he would open up his side of the fence, since nobody was home next door, open up his side of the fence, takes the slats out, try to get the deer out. So that's what it ended up doing. The police officer called his father. His dad came over, opened James's fence, took the slats out. But the deer was, it might have been dehydrated. We don't know how long he was in there. So it wasn't really moving much. So they were trying to, get it to move, to come out. Then finally one officer, I was told, I wasn't out there, I was inside with the kids, just, grabbed its legs and pulled it out onto the grass. And finally, it made its way up and moved to the back of the property. James went over there with some water in a pail for it to hydrate itself and hopefully get better and get out of there. And the police officer's dad put the fence back together, and they left. And eventually the deer did get out of his yard safely. So, wow, that was some story, right? And then let's see what else. Oh, Stitching in the Valley, a Flosstube channel, who is Deb and Lori from Ohio. They took off a couple of years, and it was so nice to see them back making videos and seeing what they've been up to, hearing about their families. So if you get a chance to give them a holler or a stitch or a visit, that would be great. So it's Stitching in the Valley. And last night, the last update was we had a Zoom with Dina, who is Sit, Stay, Stitch, and Donna, and Dee, and myself, and we had our planning meeting. So that was a lot of fun. We spoke about what we were going to do for the acrostics for October. Dina participates in a lot more acrostics and she does the Daily 30 group. She does a lot more. I do basically the Magazine Monthly Challenge. I do the 24-hour acrostic and WIPGO. And to me, that's enough. So I told you WIPGO. The new word for October for the Magazine Monthly is, you had a choice of engage or engagement. So I chose engagement. And the goal is 100 stitches, but I usually stitch on something for the day. So it's usually more than 100 stitches, but if I ever get tied up where there's absolutely no way I can stitch, I don't have much of a goal to complete, to maybe do 2 things in one day. So that's my reasoning behind it. So all the letters are pretty much this, like E is for Enchanted Pumpkin. The only thing that, I would have to explain when posting would be the E in Santa's Workshop for the elves that work with Santa. And the E, Patriotic Ornaments, it's So Emma, but the designer. And Lady Halloween for the N is because there's an N in the alphabet. And then the bottom one is a T, and it's Live on Little by Plum Street, and it's because of the tides in the water. So that's how I make it work. I wasn't able to print out a new sheet for the 24 hours. I don't know if she stopped printing the sheets because last month it wasn't there. And this month so far it hasn't been uploaded. But the word is Dead End Ahead. So there's a lot of if I can make it work on for the 2 acrostics, I do that so that I could maybe get a few extra projects in to stitch for the month. So, you know, people are, well, my friends from my Zoom group that I talk to most often, they are wondering if I'm going to go back to my 2-day rotation. And I thought about it, and I do enjoy it when I'm working on one of my big projects. When I'm working on a small project, sometimes I don't enjoy working on the 2 days as much. Don't ask me why. I don't know if it's a mental thing or if it's fabric related. But so I'm going to leave it as some things I'm going to stitch on for 2 days and some things I'll just stitch on for 1 day. And I know by stitching on 1 day, I don't make as much progress, but it gives me more opportunities to hit a lot of other projects. So that's why I'm leery about going to definitely 2 days on everything. So we'll see how it works in October and move on from there in November. I have no new fully finishes, but since a lot of viewers have recently subscribed to my channel, I don't know if you've seen these in a while. So I know some of you have seen them before. These are the Country Cottage monthly cottages that I stitched and finished. And every month, on the first of the month, I take one of these out and I swap it out for the current month and put the last month at the end of the pile and move on as I go through it. And I keep it in this storage piece. So I know where it is every month, and it's not by season, it's monthly. So the first one is October that I'm going to be putting out today. And this is my October piece. Some of these fabrics I dyed myself. Years ago, Michelle Rudy, Farm Girl, now I think it's Farm Girl Dry Goods, she did a tutorial on how to dye with RIT dye. And one day I did it in my kitchen, and I did a different colors, and however it came out, that's how I used the fabric. So this is one of the fabrics that I had dyed. And so this is going to be going up. These are wooden leaves that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and my husband has a Dremel, and I had him drill tiny holes in it so that I can stitch them on. And this one is glued, the bow is stitched, but the pine cones that I had are glued on. I guess with this one as well, there's no holes in it. So that's October. That's going to be going downstairs. Next month is November. I finish them with a sleeve in the back. I have a hanger that I hang these up on. This one's December. I love this. And the background with the sleeve. And I attach this on the corner. And it just hangs off of it. But I like the way it looks. This is the very first piece that I stitched when I came back to cross stitching in 2017. At the time, Needleworker's Delight was a brick and mortar, and I went there and I purchased the pattern and the threads. I don't remember if I used the call for hand-dyed or if I used DMC, but I'm thinking DMC. And I was concerned when I stitched this that the white didn't show, like the snow at the bottom. So I went over it with a blending filament. That way, I don't know if you can tell. It's a little bit glitter. And I remember going there when I was done and saying, but the white doesn't show. And it was just Ada, not just Ada. I use Ada all the time. It's Ada, but a color that maybe if I chose a darker shade, I might have been happier. But I didn't give up. This was the start of my journey in this part of my life of cross stitching. This is January. February. Let's see. Eventually this bow is going to have to be changed out. It's a wire ribbon, so it can be, you know, somewhat adjusted. But here's the piece. February with the pink house. So pretty. And I have a key here symbolizing the key to my heart. Did I show you? The back is flowers. The front with polka dots and flowers. This was March, or is March, oops. With the 4-leaf clover. April. May. And I don't know if you're noticing, they're all, even though the pattern, it probably finishes all at the same size, my finishing is all different. Different sizes, different color fabrics. I didn't want it to just be one fabric with all of them. I just tried out different things. There's a little daisy there for May. And a bee pin, button. It's metal. I think it's metal. Looks metal. Then this is June. I did ladybugs. I found a ladybug ribbon. I found ladybug fabric. These, I would assume, are strawberries. Could have gone with strawberries. And I don't think I stitched these in the order of the month, but I don't remember for fact. This is June. Firework. No, it's July. July fireworks. And just a red polka dot. August. The beach. September. Back to school. Apples. Picking time. So I just took this one down, and October will go up. So I put that in the back. Put them in here. And I put them in my stack right here. Okay. Put this back in there. So what have I been stitching since we were last together? The first one that was called for ABCingo was the Nutcracker Village that I'm stitching on a 28 count country mocha. Yes. So this is the one that I'm stitching now. It's the centerpiece. I'm doing it all together, so this will be the centerpiece. And it was called for V. The letter V was called, so that would be for the village. And then the H was called the next day, which I also had it listed for. And that's because the businesses, like, they all look like they do business in houses. And I'll show you what I mean. See, like, this is the toy store, and it looks like a house. So that's why I put the H there. So when it was called, I had these 3 sections done of the tree. So when I picked it up, I started this section, and I did the white, and then I had to do the next color. And when I went to pick the color, I looked at the symbol, pulled out the dark green. I realized that the dark green wasn't up here under these. It was a brown. It was this color. And when I further investigated what I did, I realized that one symbol went this way and one went this way. But it was like a thick, let's see if I can show you the symbol. I mean, granted, see, one is here like this and one was like this. So, however I looked at it too quickly and made the mistake of putting it in brown. So I realized I had to frog these 3 rows. And I was petrified because when you're working in something like full, not full covered, but dense like that, you then hide your, if it's not a new start of thread, you would hide it under something else and then end it under some stitches. So I didn't know how it was going to, if I was going to have to do more than the 3 rows, but I couldn't believe it. I was able to unpick those 3 rows without disturbing any other stitches. So I was thrilled. So that first night I did that, and then I finished the tree, like the green of the tree. Then the next night I stitched the presents, the trunk, and some of the snow. So that's what I did in the 2 days. So next there's another present here before it goes on to the Clara and the Prince people, and then I go with another tree on this side. So this is where the piece is at right now. I'm hoping that by the end of this year, I'll have that middle block completed, because we only have 3 months. So it is on my plans to work on it in October, and I'm going to try and get it in November and December so that I can at least finish that middle block. I still have a little bit, because the Q-snap, you know, only allows so much. I think I still have another little bit of holly here, another tree, and the Prince and Clara. Oops. So that's Nutcracker Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. Then the number 9 was called. So when a number is called, you have to stitch the number of motifs. And if it's words, it could be 9 letters. So I started a new project by Crafty Bluebonnet Designs, and it's called America. And I've seen, I think it was Sweetwater Stitches, Jessica. I think she did this one and another pillow. And I saw this at a pop-up store that I went to, and I decided to get the America one. So for the 9 motifs, I did America, that was 7, and 2 stars. And I left it in the Q-snap because that's the width of it and it fits, and right now I don't need this Q-snap, so I left it there hoping that I can get some stitching in October. I don't know about a finish because the stars are all, like, it's fully finished behind it. So I don't know if I'm going to, I think I'm going to do it because it calls for it, and it'll show on this fabric. So I'm hoping by the end of the year, I'll have this one done. If I have it, I don't even think I have it in for this month, October. So, but it's a start, all the same. The next came up was that did not come up. But I stitched on it, so I will show you. They're out of order. Not that it really makes a difference. I guess I could show them to you. There was one more that, here it is, that was part of ABCingo, and then I stitched on what I wanted. And that was Quaker, and that was the number 8, and that was the last call. So I had to do 8 motifs on Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I love this piece. And I'm stitching it on a 28 count Jubilee light taupe. And I think the colors really pop on it. So if I remember correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I finished this snowman. So that's going to be the width of it. And yeah, there's still some houses below this one. There's coffee cups. There's still a lot more stitching. I hope by the end of the year, though. I don't think I have this in October either, now that I think about it. See, that's what I'm saying. If I do 2 days on certain projects, I won't get to everything that could possibly be finished this year. So I'm just going to play it by ear, stitch on what I want to stitch, and if I get close to a finish, maybe push it for a finish. Okay, these are all stitches that I picked up that I wanted to stitch on till the end of September. So that in no particular order this time is Enchanted Pumpkin by Mill Hill. And I stitched in a lot of the black this time. Still a long way to go for me, but this will be ready next fall. It's something that you have to pay attention because of where the black goes, and then there's 3 shades of orange. So yeah. So I don't know if I will get it to finish it this year. But hopefully it'll be my finish for next year. Okay, I'm trying to do one patriotic finish a month. So even though I started America, I don't think I'll finish it in one more round, but I might just pick it up and do some stitching on it, and then like another month call it a finish. So this, for September, I chose one patriotic from Spangled Ornaments, and I selected the watermelon. It's over here. And this is on a 25 count barley Lugano. It says yum. I took out the exclamation point. And so I have to finish this. These go pretty quickly for a finish. I have the tart tins and the round circles from Back Quarter Shop, and they work perfectly. You know, having everything right there to finish it. So this coming month, I'm going to do another one from here. Now, this called for a darker fabric. It called for pebble. A lot of these, but I decided that if the color was, like in this case, the watermelon was, blue, I can do it on a lighter fabric. But something that had, like this has white in it, I wouldn't do it on the barley. I would do it on pebble so that it would show up better. So I haven't decided which one I'm going to stitch on for the next ornament. But you will see it once I stitch on it. And they go pretty quickly. I have to say that if I choose the right day, I can complete it in one day, within the day. Okay, then I decided to pick up Under the Friendship Tree by Mirabilia. And this was gifted to me by my friend Tonya. It's an out-of-print pattern that she found, and she knew I was looking for it, and she wants to stitch it after I'm done with it. So I'll be passing it on to her. And I started with this girl. And I'm trying to figure out where I stitched on this. Oh, nice. This was for one of the acrostics. So I had to get in so many stitches. So what I did was I put the ribbons in here. And I was able to meet that goal. And there's still part of her hair that goes up here. I wasn't in the right frame of mind to deal with a lot of confetti. And I was saying if I can just get my stitches in, then that's what I would do. And that's what I did in there. So this is where that piece is. And this is stitched on a 28 count cinnamon roll Lugana by Silk Weavers. It's coming along very nicely. I was very enthusiastic when I saw the pattern. It was Heidi, Stitching Faye. She showed it on one of her Mirabilia floss tubes where she showed all Mirabilia. And because we had twins in the family, I thought this would be a lovely piece. And then most of you know the story of Libby, and I kind of lost my mojo a little bit. Okay, oh, I forgot to get this. Excuse me a moment. I put it in here because I left it in a Q-snap. So I picked up, which I kept putting off. It's a beading that I had to do on Christmas Elf Fairy. And a couple of things on this. I hadn't done the outline of the wing, which I didn't realize I didn't do. So I did that first. And then I was going to do the beading. And there are, let me see if I can get in really close. You see these outlining stitches inside? I didn't like them. They weren't coming out nicely. So I decided to take those dark outline stitches out there and in here. But there was a missing cross stitch in the, it's called Cloud color. And it was in 3 places. There was one at the end of this one at the end of this outlining, and then I must have missed one here myself. So I didn't have any of the colors of the threads in my bag anymore because I thought I was done. So it had said the outlining had to be done in Zac black, and I was just going to pick up a black, but I realized that her shoes weren't black. They were really in this Zac black. So when I investigated this, I realized it said that it was from Crescent Colors. Crescent Colors doesn't really exist anymore. It's Classic Colorworks. So I went online and went under Classic Colorworks, Gentle Arts, Weeks, and I looked for this color called Cloud because I thought I might have had some left over and filed them. It wasn't in the file. The only cloud I found was Blue Cloud, and that was a blue color, and that wouldn't have worked out. Then I started pulling out from DMCs, like different colors, like 3865, some other colors, and it just was standing out so much, and I didn't know what to do. So I have a drawer under this table. I have a that I bought from IKEA. And I have, like, when you go to retreats, sometimes people give you floss. Arlene Cohen, when she runs our retreats, she contacts a lot of dyers, and they send samples, threads. So I think that's where I got this. I have no idea, but it's called sixstrandsweets.com, hand dyed by Jessica Burr, B-U-R-R. And it's called Pina Colada. So I took this and I put it next to the color of the wings, and it didn't seem to stand out. So I stitched it in and I started moving on. So I can't really tell where I stitched it, so I think that's a good thing because I can't even pull it out to show you. So since you've seen this, I've done the back outlining of the wing, and I started beading. I have this on, I believe it's an 11 by 17 Q-snap, but when I was stitching a beading up here, it was not comfortable because it seemed like I was too far away from the piece. So what I did was I flipped it upside down and beaded. And I don't know, now there's two types of beads. There's these larger white ones, and then the other ones are like a silver. I don't know if you can see them. You can see little dots. They're silvery. I don't know if there's enough in the tub. What I have left to do is basically a necklace around here. Then there's some of these, like, they're 4 stitches with a silver one in the middle. No, it's 4 silver ones around and a white one in the middle, just like these in here. And there's a bunch of them that go around here. And then there's some silver ones around the tree. Let's see. There's some, it's hard to see it. There's some up here by her hat. I don't know if I'm going to put those in, but I have to order another set of seed beads for the silver ones. So I will probably do that today or tomorrow. And hopefully in October when I have the beads, I'll finish it up. So she is looking quite lovely. This is a good piece if you never stitched on a Mirabilia. The only suggestion I would make is there's 3 shades of red, pink, like a dark, a medium, and a light. And there's a blending one of 2 of them. I would look for color between like the lightest and the medium one for that blended one, because I'm not crazy about the way it looks. But from a distance, it's fine. But see if I can show you. Like in here. Yeah, I would look, if I was going to do it again, I would just look for a medium, or put the 2 threads together and look for a DMC that would match it. Because they're DMCs and it's a matter of blending 2 threads. So that's my only, and it calls for whisper. I guess would have been here, and on her hat I did not use whisper. I just used white, or 3865, or whatever it was called for. Because this I bought at Cobweb Corner and I ordered the threads with it. So I knew I had the original threads, but I couldn't find. I found Zach Black to finish the outlining, so that worked out well. Okay, then I decided to start something new. And this is on a 14 count blue Ada. I don't know anything more than that. And this is Hands-On Design, and it's Polar Bear Plunge. And I did the whale one. I think it was called Hello Whale, a Whale Hello. I think that was it. And I thought I'd finish this one and fully finish it. And then I'd have 2 fully finishes, and then I have 2 done. And this was sent to me by a viewer, the pattern. I guess they saw that I did the whale hello, and I didn't have any of the other ones, and they sent me this one. And I think it's coming out so adorable on this light blue fabric. And it calls for, let's see what, hand-dyed floss, but I used the DMC equivalent. This has to be outlined to be like an ornament here. Okay. Okay, and finally, yesterday was the last day I worked on. It's a new start as well. It's Christmas Barn by Primrose Cottage. And I'm stitching this on a 14 count. Let's see, what did I write here? 14 count, no. I wasted more time yesterday, or 2 days ago, trying to figure out a fabric for this. But this is Vintage Taupe by Artiste from Hobby Lobby. And it was a small piece, so I had to put a piece of fabric on it to fit in the Q-snap at the bottom. So I did the 3 holly leaves, so there's 3 more on this side. And I did 3 snowflakes, and I started working on the barn. So, love the way the colors pop on here. And if I had the hand-dyed floss, no, it didn't call for it. It's all DMC, except for the red, which was Weeks Turkish red, and that's what I had, so that's what I'm using. So that's all the stitching. I did do some quilting as far as I'm working on a quilt top for Talia, and I can't wait to at least finish the top so I can show it to you. I'm really excited about it. Okay, so what is coming up in October? This Saturday is our meetup at the library, and I'm so excited. I haven't seen the girls now since last Saturday meetup, which was in September. So we're going to have we're going to try something new that Jen is going to be teaching us. So hopefully I get to finish the whole piece and have something to share with you the next time we're together. Let's see, the weekend of the 11th, Layla and Caleb will be sleeping over. Rebecca is running a 100-mile race. Yes, you heard me correctly. That's my daughter-in-law. She's going to be running 100 miles. It has to be completed within 30 hours. She used to run 50-mile races, and they used to be like in hills, I want to say. I don't think there were mountains, but it was not on a paved surface. This one is somewhat like in a park. I'm not exactly sure where. It's a continuous like loop around and around and around. Where in the past she used to be able to run on trails and she'd see different things, but this is, I don't know, I think it's more mentally challenging. She's been prepping for this for a couple of months now, and Mike told her my son told her to set up a table out front and run like a mile, like figure out a mile loop or something in their neighborhood, and just run it like she's been running for hours, and see how it is to just go in a regular loop instead of distance. So anyway, she's been doing that. She's been doing a lot of practicing running. He's been really good about watching the kids while she goes. But then again, during the week, she also gets up. I guess you see my Band-Aid here. Went to a dermatologist, trying to hide it. She gets up early in the morning before the kids get up so that she can go out and run on the treadmill that's in their garage for I don't know how long, but she goes out and runs in the morning. She's very dedicated, I have to say. So she's running. Michael and Rebecca set up a foundation called From Libby with Hope, and it's for supporting children with medically complex conditions, and they're doing this in memory of their daughter Libby Hope. And so they have, they put a Facebook page out there, and on Instagram, it's on their accounts, and all the proceeds go to help families in need with children with medical issues. And so the race, she's doing 100-mile Endless Hope, and it's on her website. I'll put the link downstairs in the drop-down box. On Facebook, she's Rebecca Christine, and on Instagram, she's BEKAH, because Rebecca is REBEKAH spelling. I'll put the links down below, just if you want to even see what it's all about and what they're doing. She's going to be running, she's going to try and run the 100 miles in the 30 hours. And she's taking pledges that you can pledge 5 cents a mile, 10 cents, 25, 15, whatever denomination you'd like to support her with. And like I said, the proceeds go to other families, not to our family. I don't usually ask for any donations. Like, I'm happy to share everything with you, but I thought this is not for our family. Like I said, it's to help others in need. So they also, like, what I used to do, like if a family member passed away and they say, in lieu of flowers, make a donation to your charity. I would make the donation to St. Jude's, and I would ask them to send a letter to the family to let them know that this donation was made on their behalf. And so they will also do that. If you make any donations to the foundation, which is From Libby with Hope, and you ask for the letter to be sent out, they will do that. What else was I going to tell you about that? Oh, there is another foundation that says Libby Hope, but that's foundation is to help children with dealing with brain cancer. So it has to be From Libby with Hope. And like I said, I'll put the link. I don't have a link. So I'll just put the name of Rebecca's Facebook page and Instagram. And if you just want to go and see, you can. You could just read up and it's fine. Okay. I'm not good at doing this, but I hope you're okay with it. And yeah. Okay. So until next time, I hope to come back. Let's see. The 15th is a Wednesday, exactly 2 weeks from today. I'm hoping that I can do that. And whatever I've stitched in that time, I hope the quilt top is completed. I think I should get done. I'll share you my finish from the library, and hopefully maybe a few other finishes, fingers crossed. Sal and I went to Goodwill and I picked up a couple of frames. So now I just have to lace some pieces, which is also very time consuming sometimes when they're very large. But on that note, thank you so much. If you're still here with me, I appreciate every second of your time. I know time is very valuable. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Love you guys. And until then, take care. Bye. Mwah.